Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Charity Wanyonyi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Today we're going to do Food for Thought, which is a series on this platform where I talk about food, mental health, emotional health, its relationship with nutrition, and just in between. I want you guys to enjoy this series to just debunk common diet culture myths, why people making nutrition so difficult and it's not, and how you can sustain healthy habits overall, because I just don't fully focus on nutrition, also mental health. So today we're going to look at consistency over perfectionist or perfectionist perfection. Yeah, the truth about sustainable nutrition. So I hope you'll enjoy and be blessed by this episode. And I'm going to make sure at least it's fun filled, not long enough, because I've noticed you guys don't like videos that are more than 15 minutes, guys. So how do you want me to talk faster? Yeah, so let's start. We're going to look at the perfectionist trap in nutrition. So many people will usually approach nutrition with the belief that we need to do it perfectly, like we saw in the food, like using control in terms of food. So in modern wellness culture or diet culture, food is often presented as something that must be carefully controlled. The language we hear reinforces this idea that clean eating, um, cheat meals, good food, bad food. So you've heard all this. Sometimes I call myself out when I find out that I'm also using this wellness culture terminologies. I'm like, what are you doing? So over time, this framing changes how people or me and you tend to relate with food. Eating becomes less about nourishment and more about performance. And this I've seen because I always talk about from experience, my own experience and what I've seen. So when every meal feels like a test of discipline, sometimes food stops being supportive, and I feel like it becomes stressful. Oh. I think in the food control episode, I was really candid with my struggles with the wellness culture, dieting, and all that. And sustainable health cannot coexist under constant self criticism. Anything on your plate, you're criticizing. Anything you eat, you term it as bad food, unhealthy food, and what. So you start creating this negative relationship with food, which makes nutrition so difficult, which is not supposed to, as you're going to see in this particular episode. So we're going to look at why perfectionist is unsustainable. So come with me. So the human body does not operate under perfect condition. So our nutritional needs shift every day depending on what I have said, the stress levels, sleep quality, physical activity, our hormonal changes, hormonal balance or imbalance, and also our emotional state. So rigid food rules ignore this natural fluctuation. Trying to eat perfectly every day requires constant monitoring, planning, and it's so hectic and restraint, like we talked about control, and eventually that level um of vigilance starts being exhausting. And when something is exhausting, you just better not do it. So nutrition strategies that ignore real life rarely last. That's why perfection, I don't know, I confuse the three terminologies. Perfection is unsustainable because we are human, like I always say in each and every episode. So we're going to look at the physiological cost of food perfectionism. At least I've pronounced it well. So when food becomes perfection driven, it often begins affecting our mental wellness and well-being by increasing the anxiety around meals. What am I going to eat? I have to eat perfect. I have to weigh my food. I have to do all this. So people start worrying about whether they have made the right choices or not. I have to get this right. I have to do this right. Nani's doing this. I also have to do this right. So meals become something to analyze rather than to enjoy. So you don't look forward to every meal because you have to analyze everything that is on your plate. So social situation involving food can start to feel uncomfortable or restrictive. And when someone inevitably deviates from the plan, guilty or guilt often follows it. We looked at food guilt. You know what I mean by food guilt. So this pattern slowly erodes confidence around food. So I hope you've understood how our mental health physiological state can really be affected by food perfectionism. Yeah. So we're going to look at why consistency matters more than perfection. And I really struggled to come up with this episode because I'm a very big perfectionist. It eats at me when something doesn't go right, but I'm trying to work on it. So the body responds to pattern and not isolated meals. Yeah. So one meal does not define your health. That's why for me, I really practice the 80-20 rule. 80% eat right, and all the healthy food, and then 20% there's room for the cheat day that we talked about. Yes, indulging on this food that you're craving. So what matters the most is the overall rhythm of nourishment over time, because long-term dietary habits shape metabolic outcome. So consistent eating pattern supports metabolic stability, energy regulation, and hormonal balance, which is very, very important. We're going to look at hormones and mental health later. So small, repeatable habits have a far greater impact than short bursts of extreme discipline. That's why these 7 days, 14 days, 28 days thingies never really last if you're not consistent, because you're going to fall back to those habits. So when consistency is present, sustainable health lives. That's why when you see people who have been working out for more than 5 years, it comes so natural to them. Those people who have been doing nutrition the sustainable way, it really comes easy to them. They don't have to overthink everything and make everything perfect, because they have consistently built their good dietary habits, which shapes their metabolic outcome. Just go and look at videos of people who are 50, 55, 60 years above, and they are really healthy. They will tell you the key is consistency over these short bouts of strict dieting and diet culture. So we're going to look at blood sugar stability and routine. So regular eating patterns also play a significant role in blood sugar stability. If you don't know what blood sugar stability, I will leave it in the screen so that you can know. So long gaps between meals can lead to sharp drops in glucose level, which may cause fatigue, irritability, and intense hunger. And I forgot to add brain fog. Yeah. So when people become overly hungry, they often eat quickly or in larger amounts than they intend. Just stay a whole day without eating. When you get food, you're going to overindulge. This creates cycles of spikes and crashes. I will leave the graph so that you know what sugar spikes are and sugar crashes are. And most of the time, these crashes and spikes affects our mood and focus. That's why for me, I've come to learn my body, so I know when I'm having a sugar spike and when I'm about to crash, so that I can regulate. And it's very, very good, guys. Learn your body, self-awareness, hunger cues, fullness cues. Regular nourishment helps the body maintain a more stable physiological rhythm. So just establish your pattern, your routine. Just do it. And you see how it will improve your cognitive performance. If you don't know what cognitive performance is, this is the definition. We're going to look at structure without restriction. So structure in nutrition can be very helpful, but structure in different form. I mean, structure is different from restriction. I will leave the definition of restriction on the screen. Structure creates rhythm, predictable times to eat, balanced meals, and consistent nourishment. I know someone might say structure. I mean, regular eating schedule is, especially if you have a work environment that is really unpredictable. But for me, I've come to notice when I eat a certain time of day every day, I've seen an improvement with my blood glucose level. Restriction, on the other hand, removes flexibility and often introduces fear. I have to restrict this. I have to monitor this. I have to do this. I have to restrict. I can't. You will start hating food. You'll have a negative relationship with food. Sustainable nutrition allows for both structure and adaptability. That's why when you start to work with a nutritionist, it's never really about perfectionism. It's not about restriction. It's not about don't do this, don't do this, do this. Right. So it supports daily life rather than trying to control your whole life. So your whole mood, your whole life, your whole everything is just structured on how restrictive dieting is, or the diet culture. So we're going to look at why extreme resets fail. So many diets rely on dramatic resets, cutting out entire food groups, carbs, fats, drastically reducing calories, the 800, 1200 diet or calorie diet, or following strict short-term programs. These 7 days, 14 days detox programs. These approaches often create strong initial motivation, but biologically the body interprets extreme restriction as stress. Our body is going into survival mode. So I have to save some for myself. So I start storing for a rainy day. This increases food preoccupation and cravings. So eventually people return to previous eating pattern, often feeling discouraged. Like, you know what, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this, I saw Nani doing this, it's not. That's why we are very different. That's why these days we are all about individual, customized nutrition plans for each and every one of you. We don't do blanket approach. So gradual adjustment tend to produce far more stable results, not just a burst. Like today I'm going to change, you just start. You have to start slowly, gradually to build those habits for sustainable nutrition plan. So we're going to look at nutrition as a long-term pattern, of course. So nutrition should always be viewed as a long-term pattern. That's why when you're taken under a wing of a nutritionist, you're going to get into a coaching session, and the nutrition is going to work hand in hand with you. So health outcome develop over months and years, and not just after every not after everyone not after a single day, I mean. So occasional indulgence have very little impact in the context of an otherwise balanced pattern. That's why I highly recommend the 80-20 rule. Consistent nourishment builds resilience in the body. When we shift our focus from perfection to pattern, nutrition becomes far more manageable. Just look at, if you start working on your own following this fad diet, and then go to a nutritionist for proper assessment, and they start to create a plan meant for your lifestyle, you see a change, and nutrition will become easy and a success, and not just making it so difficult until you start eating what you eat. You have to start. Oh my god, you guys, stop stressing yourself. Yeah. So we're going to look at mental freedom around food. So one of the most important benefit of consistency is physiological freedom. When eating follows predictable pattern, decision fatigue decreases. That's why we encourage you guys to have family meal plans, individual meal plans, customized meal plans for you. Food choices require less menstrual energy. When you know on Monday, this is what I'm going to have for lunch, for break, for supper, this is what I'm going to add. It's going to reduce the mental stress and taking your energy out of thinking, what am I constantly going to eat? By show of hand, leave it in the comment section. How many of you have to think about what to eat every day? Yeah. This becomes less frequent because eating is no longer framed as a success, a success or a failure. Guys. Mdomo leo imekata. This sense of safety allows people to make healthier decisions more naturally. Yeah, that's why I actually do enjoy nutrition and mental health. It makes me happy. So you're going to look at signs you're moving towards sustainable nutrition. So there are several signs that someone is moving towards a more sustainable relationship with food. So meals begin to feel predictable rather than chaotic. Hunger cues become easier to recognize. Like I said, know your hunger cues and your fullness cues. When you're about to crash out, when you're having a spike, no. Yeah, food decisions require less internal debate, or I have to eat this, what am I going to eat for? So self-criticism decreases over time and gains too, and eating starts to feel integrated into your daily life rather than dominating, like it is taking over your life. You have to think about this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Yeah. Framing healthy eating is often misunderstood as constant perfection. So, but health does not require flawless execution. So nutritional adequacy matters more than aesthetic idea or ideas. So cultural food, social meals, and flexibility can coexist with balanced nutrition. When you go out, when you're socializing, we are social being. When you go out to socialize, there must be food. So you have to allow for that flexibility for you to indulge in the 20% during that time and then go back to your 80%. So when we evaluate health based on long-term pattern, the pressure to be perfect begins to fade. So as we close, we're going to look at this simple thought that I want to leave you with. Perfection is fragile, consistency is resilient. So sustainable nutrition supports both the body and the mind, and health grows through repeatable habits and not rigid control. So nourishment should feel supportive and not stressful. I've tried my best to rush through this episode because I don't want this to be long, but I hope this episode has been able to shed some light on how to come up with sustainable nutrition. And I want you guys to work with nutritionists. Nutritionists are here for you guys. There's so many of us licensed and ready to practice, ready to work with you through life in terms of building a good, long lasting, sustainable